I tried recording this video 3 times over, so we're gonna try it one more time. If you have not watched the previous one, the previous video here, go ahead and rewatch that, because why aren't you watching? Why are you watching these out of order? You know what I'm saying? And by the way that my schedule is moving right now, there should be at least one more part that should be releasing sometime soon after this, but we know how life be, so that's probably not gonna happen for a little minute, but I digress. There's not really gonna be an intro here. We're just gonna get straight into part 2 of video game soundtracks that meant a lot to me, at least. Once again, if you haven't watched the first video, go ahead and watch that, and be sure to like, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and yeah, drink your water, share it with a friend, things of that nature. A lot of these games that I mentioned before, if I'm being honest with you, I can make whole 3-hour-long video essays with the finest detail diving into all of their soundtracks. I really could. But the main issue with that is, it's not that I don't like them as much, it's that they don't impact me the same way as the one I'm actually saving all the time and energy for, because I'm drafting up that one as we speak. Another soundtrack that we can kick this off to, that has made a lot of big waves in the way I think about soundtracks in music or I said music, gaming, anime, things of that nature, is Devil May Cry. 1, 3, 4, and 5 are considered some of the best action games that you can ever play in any shape or form. And to make matters even better, there was also scenarios where those games just had some of the most banger soundtracks. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the soundtracks in these games kind of like all specialize in the same genre / subgenre of rock. I don't want to say it's kind of like punk, but it's kind of more of just like that 90s grunge, in a sense, like that early 2000s grunge. At least if you describe Devil May Cry 3. Devil May Cry 1, that wasn't as, I'm trying to find the best way to explain it. They were trying to make Dante like too cool for school in the first one. Didn't really have that much dialogue. He was too brooding, so the soundtrack was very much dark and mysterious to try to fit his character and fit the setting of what was going on. So it wasn't just rock, but it was also kind of just like cathedral church type music, if that made sense. Like all the way down from the no drums, but like organ playing, pianos, like kind of like a vampire-ish horror theme type going on, you know. That's kind of what was going on with Dante's Devil May Cry 1. But once Devil May Cry 3 rolled around, that's when things started getting crazy, because it was just high action, high fast paced, straight up guitar riffs, that would last for about 20 minutes to however long it takes you to finish the goddamn mission. And I think something that Devil May Cry specialized in was the in-betweens. The in-betweens for like each battle is kind of what made this, I'm trying to find the best word to describe it, but it's kind of what made this entire soundtrack for at least Devil May Cry 3 and 4 and 5 and everything else like connect. It's kind of like weaving everything through, because like you would get done with a battle in Devil May Cry 3 and then be like, oh yeah, I need to, I don't know, go to the fucking shop that they have in there and stock up on golden orbs to res up or something. Or like you would like fuck around and be like, oh yeah, let me go ahead. You would fuck around and you would go ahead, oh yeah, be like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and upgrade my skills. They kept that old soundtrack of like the cathedral church and they brought it back in to any Devil May Cry afterwards, and it works really well with making sure that it seamlessly puts the player through an experience. So I think that's another good example of at least soundtracks that hit close to home to me. Not necessarily for any 1 or 2 tracks necessarily, but mainly because of how it actually helped my experience when playing the games. Devil May Cry 3, at the very least, was one of my earliest moments I can actually remember playing a game. I think it was like on a cousin's PS2. We went over there, and he had Devil May Cry, NBA Streets, and I think Pac-Man or Pac-World, Pac-World, I believe, for the PS2. Banger game, by the way. Or I would need to replay it because I don't want nostalgia to hold me. And I believe that the guitar riff in the first mission really helps invoke hype into me type thing. So I think that your soundtrack, at least your opening soundtrack, can really dictate the experience a player goes through in a game. Speaking of opening soundtracks, though, that leads into my second favorite soundtrack of the game of all time, or not necessarily a singular soundtrack, but just more of like the series and their soundtracks. We're gonna talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog, if people didn't already know, is a platformer game that came out, I want to say, 1996, maybe, or 2000s. I actually don't remember when the first Sonic game came out. I just knew it was sometime in the 90s when the Sega Genesis came out, or whatever Sega console they had at the time. I just knew that Sega needed a powerful mascot, and Sonic was just that for them. We could talk about the Sonic franchise for hours, and if I'm being honest, there's probably certain games that I would probably even do reviews on, or like further deeper diver analysis on this channel. We're gonna save that for a different day. Now this is just more of like an overview and just like the highlight tracks that I like the most. Highlight track number 1, because they're all from different games. We're gonna start off with the classic Planet Wisp. Planet Wisp is a part of the almost forgotten game of Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors is one of my favorite ones, but not too many people like really rock with it, apparently, I was told. Or was it Sonic Frontier? I don't remember. There was some Sonic game in that era that niggas didn't fuck with. Like, Sonic Colors was the start of the worst, apparently. Like, that's what a lot of people describe it as. But it had some banger-ass soundtracks, bro. For example, Planet Wisp, the track that we're talking about right now. It starts off with this, like, little chill piano that you don't think too much of. But then, as it builds up, you start to hear the guitar, the drums, and, like, other instruments weave in, and it kind of sucks you into the map that you're playing in. It's really important that I signify just like the slow build up, because most people, when they first play that track, that's all they can think of. They're just thinking of that piano, and they're like, oh yeah, this is a banger. And then they get put into one of the best maps that Sonic has ever had to offer during his 3D run. Now, I could talk for hours about the soundtrack of Sonic Colors, because they have quite a lot of bangers, but I think that's probably the most talked about one from there. I think another good one would probably be fucking Sonic Rush. It was the joint where it was like Too Black, Too Strong. It's the one where they sampled fucking Malcolm X. I'm gonna look it up right quick, because I forgot which one. It was wrapped in black. Now, that's probably why they sampled Malcolm X, but that is probably why they sampled Malcolm X in the song. But the fact that the Sonic producers out here are just like, alright man, we need a really good soundtrack for the game. We could just sample Malcolm X, that's a good way. You know what? That's a really good idea. It doesn't help that's like really upbeat and like really get you on your toes for real. Be making me feel like that one white guy dancing to fucking Afro beats on that I see on TikTok. Thing where it's like, bro, Sonic has so many differences, or so many instances where their whole soundtrack team somehow finds a way to put elements of black music into the soundtracks of the song, and then people be surprised why black people love Sonic so much. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, I think it was in either Sonic 1 or Sonic 2 where they had a whole goddamn dance break, or like a whole goddamn like fucking praise break in the goddamn song. You could hear it in the drum pattern. If I could find it, I'm gonna put it into this section of the video. But like, bro, you can't tell me that niggas are digging too deep or thinking too deep when it comes to these soundtracks, because I promise you it is always that deep, even to the smallest minute details. Like, it's, I don't know, I could talk about Sonic all day, but I think that my most favorite track of all time from Sonic is probably Aquatic Meadows, because that's some real black shit right there on the most literal standpoint. Like, it's literally hip hop, so you can't get any blacker than that. And on top of that, it's Knuckles theme, like it's just doubling up. Like, you literally cannot get any blacker than that. But I digress. Like, I think that's the one thing that I always wanted, or I always would like to emphasize whenever I talk about Sonic soundtrack, is that the connection to black people and how they, I don't know if it's intentional, but how their connection to black music has accidentally grabbed one of the largest black audiences in any nerd fan base. Like, I'm pretty sure the only like nerdy thing that has a big of black fan base is probably Dragon Ball and maybe Marvel, and even then a lot of niggas don't even care about Marvel, so it's probably Dragon Ball and then Sonic. Those are the two, bro. Like, it's because, at least from Sonic's standpoint, it's the music and how they are able to incorporate elements of other people or of black people throughout history of our just existence and putting it into their music. Now, it might have been intentional, it might be pandering, who actually knows? All I know is I fucking love it, and I will continue playing Sonic games even if they're bad, because I just like Sonic. I like their music. And it even can be said about their rock soundtracks, because rock is inherently black as well, and people keep forgetting about that. Even though this isn't really like a Sonic specific, I mean, it is a Sonic specific soundtrack, but the way I found it wasn't necessarily. Does anybody remember Sega Superstars Tennis? If you do not remember this game, then I'm not gonna lie, you need to find a way to play that jump. This shit banged, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I will never get over this hill of how much this game fucking slapped. No bullshit. Essentially, this game was a Sega Superstars collection of all of their characters, all of their stages, just playing tennis. And then I found Seaside Hill. And when I was playing on Sonic stage, I'm like, because at the time, that was the only character I recognized. I'm like, bro, this is a banger. How have I not heard this in any Sonic game I played? And I realized it's because all the Sonic games I played at the time just happened to be fucking 2D. So it's like, you're not gonna find any of the 3D soundtracks in the 2D games. But no, Seaside Hill might have been top 3 best songs in the series, honestly. But, you know, once again, might be another, oh, this nigga talk about generic Sonic soundtracks again. And I don't give a fuck. I really don't, respectfully. I'm not going to try to cater to hardcore Sonic fans, even though I am one, on like their takes on which soundtracks are good and what soundtracks are not good. I'm not doing all that, respectfully. So I'm not even gonna try to appease them niggas. I'm not trying to appease them niggas at all. But no, wildly enough, this goes into an honorable mention that I can throw in before I end the video. Like, that same that same game, it had this guy named Samba the Amigo. Now, Samba the Amigo, cool ass dude. I don't even know what his game's about, if I'm honest. I just know Sega made it, and they put his song in the fucking tennis shit, and bro, this shit's actually a banger. It makes me want to really do some salsa, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It be on some like, if you on some samba. If you like this video, be sure to do all the buttons, you know, like, subscribe, and I don't really know what niggas say. What else do niggas say? Oh yeah, comment down below your favorite soundtrack in a Sonic game. One final part that I have, and the gaming series starts with a P. Well, actually, I might need to make an honorable mention video before I make that final one, because there's 2 that start with a P. But for people who know me personally, you probably already know which one it's going to be. But if you could guess, how about you put it down in the comment below? There we go. Engagement farming. You know that I'm really the king of this engagement farming shit. Let me stop. I'm literally just talking. I'm just yapping. But no, yeah. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't subscribe.